My name is Smitty, and you're watching the Fantasy Football Show, and today we'll be talking not only Week 13 waiver wire ads, who to pick up heading into Week 13, but we'll be breaking down all the news coming out of Week 12. Christian McCaffrey out for the season with the ankle. Dalvin Cook expected back in Week 15 to miss maybe Week 13 and 14. Nothing's concrete, but we're hearing those rumblings. I'll get to that report in a minute. But Week 13 waiver wire ads, breaking news, Darren Waller, Mattison, you name it, we're breaking it down. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty. Take a lap. What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Alexander Mattison, league winner. Get ready for it. This is what we came for. This is what Alexander Mattison owners have been waiting for the entire season. We got a little taste of it already when Mattison was plugged in, injected into that Vikings lineup where he tore it up and did amazing things. He's already been on a tear. Alexander Mattison, our league-winning savior. Get ready for more of it because he's going to drop, I think, at least 2 more weeks of goodness. Weeks 13 and weeks 14. We'll get to that in a minute. No concrete information on Mattison missing weeks 13 and 14, but rumblings about it. Reports about it, inconsistencies from coaching and Schefter and Rappaport, all these news, breaking news pieces everywhere, saying a little bit something different here and there. But I'm going to tell you right now, given what I know about shoulder injuries, given some of the smart people that I use to better my educational arsenal, my arsenal of medical information. No, I'm not a doctor, but I've been doing this 19 years and I've got the medical stuff down pretty good because I've seen it all. I've seen how long a player has to wait when they tear an ACL or a quad or a hamstring. And that's why I kind of feel we've been pretty on the money with some of our bust predictions this year. I mean, we've been doing pretty darn good with calling the players to stay away from, getting rid of Cook, getting rid of CMC, getting rid of Henry, avoiding Cam Akers. Have I missed? Am I perfect? No, I'm not. Was I down, a little down on Mixon? Yeah, I was, but now I'm not. And you know what? You should want me to change my mind. You should want me to adjust and adapt. I'm not perfect, but when I see a player playing well that I was down on, that I love, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to dig my heels in and act like a moron. Like, hey, I said he wouldn't do good. I'm going to continue to say Mixon, well, Mixon looks great. That's the way it works. That's fantasy football. You're not going to hit them all. Not all your predictions are going to be home runs, but I do my best to give you guys the players to avoid, the players to go get, the opportunities that knock, like going and getting Jamar Chase. Right now, coming off another dud week and people freaking out, going and getting CeeDee Lamb while people worry about will we ever see the CeeDee Lamb that we've seen on and off all year. Has he been inconsistent? He sure has. But it's time to go get CeeDee Lamb. It's time to go get Jamar Chase. It's time to go get a lot of players. We'll talk about some of that. If you can even make trades. Some people can. Some people can't. Some people's trade deadline is 2 weeks ago. Some people can trade up until, like, I've seen people say December 12th. But majority is this week. Like, if there's anybody left, this week is the last week to make trades if in a normal league, a normal setting. So, here we go. Let's break down the waiver wire ads for week number 13. And then we'll get into the news and talk about Christian McCaffrey, Alexander Mattison, and Dalvin Cook, and break it all down. Why are you so high on Chase, Smitty? 5 bad weeks. Looks like Cincinnati wants to run the ball. Because, Matt, I believe that Jamar Chase is going to do doubters the way he did doubters walking into the season. Everybody worried about the drops. Would he translate? He has been a beast this year. Has he slowed down? He certainly has, Matt. But I'm going to go get him, and I think he could be at least top 4 to 7 wide receiver go forward. I really believe he'll play that good. And most importantly, dynasty leaguers out there, go get Ja'Marr Chase now while there's a lot of doubt that probably will not be there entering 2022. I think he finishes so strong that everybody and their mother is going to reject trade after trade if you go trying to shop and buy Ja'Marr Chase after he has a nice finish to the season. He's a rookie. We've talked about this. Rookies always have those up and down seasons. They're always like this. This is a rookie season. If you're a wide receiver especially, okay? Weeks 1 through now 18. And especially now that we have 18 instead of 17. Here's the middle of the season. Rookies that start off hot if you're a Ja'Marr Chase, a Justin Jefferson type. And this is playing at a 10 out of 10. This is playing at a 0. This is a bust. If a rookie wide receiver starts out like this, they almost always near double-digit weeks take a little bit of a lull. And yeah, Ja'Marr Chase has been doing it a little longer than I had hoped. But I think this is what we're about to see. We're about to see the guy who's taking the dip, and he's on a little bit of a lull right here, explode up in that direction. It's going to happen, and I want you to own him when it does. I don't want you to be like, I should have listened to Smitty. I should have acquired Ja'Marr Chase. Because what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to acquire Ja'Marr Chase at a value that is not at the value that I'm describing. Am I sitting here saying go get Ja'Marr Chase at top 4 to 6, 7 wide receiver value? No, I am not. Am I asking you to go spend top 15 overall trade value on him in leagues where you can even make trades? No, I'm not. I'm trying to tell you this man at his current trade value is going to double for you. Like Bitcoin, yes, Daniel, you're buying this before it doubles. Ja'Marr Chase shares will double very soon, and you're going to wish you listened to me. Ja'Marr Chase time. Mattison season, Cook out at least what looks to be early reports out week 13 and 14, back maybe week 15, but I'm going to tell you that's a weird report. We don't know when he's going to be back. We don't even know if there's a bad tear or a medium tear. If your shoulder does come out of socket, and there could be a bad report that it never actually came out of socket. We were hearing conflicting reports. Some people are saying that, and this is coming from the coaching staff too, that there's some false information out there about his injury and to the extent of it. But I don't trust a word that some of these coaches, some of the reports coming out of these teams and from the mouths of these coaches, when we get lied to all the time. I don't know what to expect at this point. I don't know if we're going to find out Dalvin Cook's injury is less severe than we thought or worse than we thought. But given his injury history and the amount of times his shoulder injuries occurred, the amount of times this man's torn his labrum, I'm guessing this is the bad shoulder. I don't know if we even have confirmation on what shoulder it is. They're being very, very coy about this, but I would expect him to be out at least week 13 and 14. And there's a strong shot. I think this could unfold and get worse and worse for him. And like I told you earlier, not only do you have the injury to Dalvin Cook, you have the emotional distress that this man is undergoing right now, whether you believe he inflicted the distress on himself or whether he's a victim of it. But an emotional roller coaster mentally for him right now with what's going on outside of football. You've got that going on. You've got the injury, and you've got a player in Alexander Mattison that could fill in and be near as good. The team might make a decision in a week or two, maybe. This is me speculating. This is me trying and predict ahead of the curve. The team might be like, look, we're gonna let him rest emotionally, physically. There's no need to rush this man back out there when we have a weapon in Alexander Mattison that can fill the shoes very, very well and very, very close to the skill level that Cook brings to the table. This is a guy, Alexander Mattison, that almost when you're eating your turkey on Thanksgiving and you're looking over in the corner, this is the kind of guy that when you look over, you see a run and you're like, oh, that Mattison or Dalvin Cook looked great on that run. And then you look a little closer, you're like, that's Alexander Mattison. Sometimes you don't know. That's how good Mattison is. A lot of people threw shade on him heading into this year, saying, well, he filled in last year and didn't do well. Yet they forget that, yeah, there was 1 week mid-season in 2020 where he filled in and didn't do well. But in week 17, I believe, he had over 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns, if I remember correctly. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was week 17 last year. One game he didn't do great when he filled in. One game he did do great. But we've seen him for an extended period of time backing up Dalvin Cook. It wasn't just last year. We know this guy's got the talent. What did he do this year? Drop fire. This guy, Alexander Mattison, if asked to start games, will be a top 5 to 7, maybe 4 to 7, 4 to 8 running back in fantasy football per start. He's a league winner. He's going to be phenomenal. I'm excited. You're excited. This is what we came here for. And he's on the waiver wire ads for week number 13. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be because he shouldn't be available. If you are the Fantasy Football Show subscriber, viewer, and soldier, what business does Alexander Mattison have on your waiver wire? Can someone answer that question? Faint, I appreciate the super chat. I'm going to put you right here, good buddy, and get to you in a second. And Gonzalez, same thing. Appreciate you. Anybody that super chats are going to get in line here, and I'll put you in the pecking order here. And we got another one from Overcome. All of them piling up. Don't worry, I'm going to get to you. Appreciate all your super chats. But we're in a rhythm right here, then we'll get to your super chats. Alexander Mattison has no business on your waiver wire. You knew better than this. You need to what? If that is the case,
take a look.
You need to take a big darn lap. Sorry, I had to get the fire started. Take a lap. Take a lap. Pick up the man if he's there. I can't believe he's available in so many leagues. The percentages are just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that this man's available in so many fantasy leagues. I'm embarrassed. You know when someone does something that's so embarrassing that you're embarrassed? That's this situation. I shouldn't be embarrassed because he's available in waiver wires, but it's so embarrassing. It makes me uncomfortable and embarrassed when somebody tells me, hey, he's available in my league, Smitty. Should I pick him up? I get embarrassed. It makes me feel silly. It makes me feel ashamed of myself. How I've dropped the ball. It's on me. If Mattison's available in your league right now, that's on me. I didn't do my job. I didn't tell you with enough authority to make sure Alexander Mattison was on your roster if he hit waivers. That's on me. I should be ashamed of myself if you don't own him. Dontrell Hilliard, probably number 2 on the list. Dontrell Hilliard is an interesting player. I had him in 2019 on my top 12 bold predictions in Cleveland. And I really like this guy. Very, very skilled all around. Really good player. And in 2019, I had him on my top 12. I only picked 12 bold predictions. I had him on my top 12 bold predictions. He did not do anything. Let's just say that bold prediction busted. He was not needed. I predicted him to kind of come in and do what Hunt's currently doing in Cleveland. That's how I saw that going. It didn't go that way. I looked pretty bad on that, and here he comes back around looking maybe relevant. And I'll be honest, I didn't see him having this type of game walking into week 12. I'm not going to take credit for that at all. I'm just saying I really did like this guy when I scouted him and thought he would be something special if ever given the opportunity. I'm not suggesting he's going to be something long-term, but the fact that I really, really liked him 2 years ago, let alone, now when I watch him play, it's good for his weeks 13 through 18 outlook. That's all we're talking about here. Dynasty, we can't go there yet. We need to see this man deliver for a while. But the fact that Hilliard dropped this pretty impressive line in week number 12, let me put it on screen and get you his stat line. This is Dontrell Hilliard for week number 12. The man dropped 131 yards on 12 rushing attempts for a touchdown in week 12 in the loss to the Patriots, a very, very strong defense. He did lose a fumble, as noted here. Now, Deonta Foreman we should put at number 2 as well. Like, consider that like pick the player you prefer most, the guy you believe in. But I really do think this is a very, very solid pickup and play for this week. More needs Flacco, Joe Flacco. We'll see. Mattison season, been holding him for this. This is why we're here, Kyle. This is why we're here, good buddy. We've been holding Mattison, and we're ready to deploy him. Chris with a super chat. I'm going to put you in the corner, good buddy. Number 3, the guy that we talked about on the live stream over and over and over on Friday and Saturday night, Van Jefferson. Why is he being doubted off of one game? Odell comes in, everybody says drop Van Jefferson. Woods gets hurt, everybody says rise Van Jefferson. Then the first week where there's no Woods and Odell's there, which was not this week but last week, Van Jefferson does nothing. Everybody writes Van Jefferson off. He's now garbage to everybody. But no, we talked him up on the show Friday and Saturday as a good ad and good play. And boy, did he look good. He had one touchdown actually called back where Cooper Kupp threw him the football and he had his toe on the line in the end zone. So he would have had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns had they given him that touchdown or had he kept his toe in. It was like this much. It was horrible to watch. You're like 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, and then they pull it off the board. Van Jefferson is a great ad and play, and he's available in an uncomfortable amount of leagues. So, make sure you grab him. Robert says Odell is the guy. Odell caught a touchdown. He still has some value. He still could be the better player over Van Jefferson, maybe, but we'll see. I like Van. I could go either way. I think Odell does need to be grabbed if he is available. So we could even put Odell/Odell here in case he's available in your league. Kendrick Bourne needs to be added. Jamal Williams, because Swift is questionable for week number 13 on, but probably looking like it's going to be maybe a week to week, so maybe a 1 week or no week absence for Swift. He has a sprained shoulder, but it's not a dislocation or any kind of tear from anything that I'm reading. Matt Breida needs to be grabbed. He is the Buffalo Bills' probably top running back option, and that's pretty much it. I mean, if there's any other players you want to toss out that you think are available in more leagues than I'm anticipating, we can talk about it. But for the most part, these are the top waiver wire guys, and the list will get smaller and smaller and smaller as we near weeks 14, 15, 16, 17. 143 of you in here. Please punch the thumbs up. And I got an exciting announcement for all of you that might be a little bit down right now. You don't really have a whole bunch going on for the remainder of the season because you got hit by the Cook injury. You got hit by the CMC injury. Your season could be nearing an end, and you're like, what do I play for? Well, you know what? I've got something for you, and it's completely free. And you need to stay tuned all week on the YouTube shows, Tuesday show, the Thursday show, the Friday and Saturday. Actually, not the Friday and Saturday because it locks down on Thursday. So it'll basically be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning on my Instagram, all over my stories, so you cannot miss this opportunity. Don't worry. And on the YouTube channels, anytime I go live or any video I do, it'll be a micro season. I'll give you a link. You will join my micro season contest. It'll be weeks 13 through 18 best ball. No lineups, no ad drops. You have to anticipate. There are bye weeks still, so you have to factor that in. Do you draft a guy with a bye week? or it's best ball, or do you draft just a team that where there's no buys and maybe a lesser player? It's all part of the strategy. No lineups, nothing. It's draft and done. Best ball. Everybody you draft scores points for you. Everybody plays. And what are you competing for? Whoever wins the micro season, weeks 13 through 18, whoever wins will win a autographed Tyreek Hill jersey. So you have something to play for. It's an autographed Tyreek Hill jersey, and it's magnificent. And you get to win it if you win this micro contest, this micro season, weeks 13 through 18. Stay glued for details on that. Christian McCaffrey, we already talked about that, out for the year. Make sure Chuba Hubbard. Oh, we do got to put Chuba Hubbard on here because he probably is available in more leagues than an uncomfortable amount of leagues. Let's put Chuba on here just in case. I mean, more than likely I think he's probably taken in most leagues, but we need to put Chuba Hubbard. Maybe we'll put him at 2 just to emphasize that if he's available, he needs to be grabbed. So we'll put Dontrell Hilliard down here. We'll put Chuba right here. Chuba Hubbard is not a savior. He's not Alexander Mattison good. He's not A.J. Dillon good. He's not even Tony Pollard good. But he's good, and he's not like, when Henry goes down, nobody steps up. He's going to be solid. He's going to be a solid ad if available, but he's not Alexander Mattison, so just know that. Mattison will likely, in my opinion, play more than 2 weeks, but yes, it is. It's going to be Champions Round GZ, and you can go, if you have the app now, you can find my contest as weeks 13 through 18, and it's already there. But I'll be announcing it all, giving a link and doing all that all week. Yeah, so Mattison, I think, will start more than 2 weeks, but we're going to take it 2 weeks. We're going to take it week by week. Will Mattison start this week? I'm pretty darn confident. Will he start the next week? I'm pretty confident. Will he start the next week? I'm less confident, but I think we're going to get there because I don't see, when you dislocate your shoulder, we went over this in tremendous detail on my other live streams, but when we talked about that labrum and that ball and socket, we talked about how your labrum in the ball and socket is kind of like that hole. Okay, and here's the ball. The ball ain't coming out of the socket. That labrum helps keep it tight and protect it in. When you tear your labrum and the ball comes out of the socket, what happens? If you don't surgically repair it, and if it's torn enough to where it does need surgery, because it's not something that just heals on its own very often or very much, it's just you're putting this back into a damaged, ripped open labrum. That hole that was tight is now bigger, and that ball and socket can continue to slide out differently. And another analogy that I have that I think works pretty well is the remote control backing on your remote control. Once that thing gets loose and it's always flying off, you throw the remote on your couch or your bed, it hits just right, and then the back comes off. If you don't get that thing tightened up, it's going to continue to get worse or pop out. So he needs some sort of surgery, is my guess, unless it's a very minor tear, which is unlikely because he's torn his labrum several times. So we're looking like, in my opinion, more than 2 weeks. I think, especially the emotion on his face, and it's an extremely painful injury. He was hurting badly. And when a player cries, which is not a shame, it's not, you shouldn't be ashamed of that, because when I tore my knee, man, I was screaming and yelling. Things were coming out of my mouth. I was just, I was hurting bad. You get emotional when there's pain, but you get even more emotional when you think about the road you're going to be traveling down. If you've done this before, you've tore your labrum. And this happened to Aaron Jones when Aaron Jones tore his MCL. Thankfully for him, not for A.J. Dillon owners, but thankfully for him, his injury wasn't as bad as he anticipated. But because he's gone down the road of tearing his MCL multiple times, like Dalvin Cook's tore his shoulder multiple times, Aaron Jones emotionally went down a road while he was getting taken off the field that I know where I'm headed. I'm headed down a long journey of missing games and recovery. So I believe a lot of what Cook was experiencing was similar. He knows that it's not in a good spot. It's not one of those things where I think he can come back and rush it, or he could do even more damage. And again, depending on the tear, that ball and socket might not hold that socket into play, or that ball into place, if they, now that it's back in, if that labrum isn't a tight, like almost like a seal. So we're really looking at, we're beholden to the news. We're beholden to the truth, which is not given to us ever from a news perspective. So we really don't know. Like there could be a scenario where it's not as bad as we thought. And there are reports all over the place suggesting maybe it isn't as bad as originally thought. Maybe it is. Minnesota coaching staff comments suggest that maybe there's false reports about how bad the injury is. And then you've got, ESPN and other people reporting that he's out at least 2 weeks. The news is all over the map, and we just we got to wait for the dust to settle to know what news report is actually the most accurate. So I do want to pump the brakes on the Alexander Mattison is going to, start all year and Cook is out for the season. I want to pump the brakes on that expectation. It's certainly a possibility, but we need to wait for the dust to settle to find out how bad the injury is. Remember, it's Monday. A lot comes out on Tuesday and Wednesday more so than Monday, because Monday is still that week. We're still in week 12 right now, exiting into week 13. The game just ended on Monday night. We should know a lot more tomorrow and Wednesday. For right now, looking like you get 2 weeks of Alexander Mattison, and then we'll see what's up after that. Let's get through these super chats. Any other super chats? Drop them and we'll get through them real quick. Got a trade request for DeAndre Swift and Mike Evans for Zeke and Pittman. Swift and Mike Evans, Zeke and Pittman. I currently have Zeke and Pittman. Zeke Elliott is a tough player to break down right now, and let's talk about why. That's CD Lamb. We'll talk about Lamb in a second. Zeke Elliott. Where's my Zeke Elliott clip? I have a news clip on Zeke Elliott. 1 second. I think it's right here. Nope, that's Hilliard. Let's see. Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott practiced. That's pretty much all it says, but let me find it and put it on screen here. Zeke Elliott practiced. So there's some thought that the early reports that Zeke was going to be shut down could have been misleading, could have been speculation and not based on fact. I'm not saying that the Cowboys aren't considering that. I'm not saying that isn't something that's still on the table. So Zeke Elliott knee was a full participant in practice on Monday. That just kind of goes against what the news has been suggesting the last couple of days, that he could be shut down. But how do we react to this? Like, what do we do with this information? We can either take it and say, oh, he's fine. Get him back out there. Let's go. Let's roll Zeke. Or you could look at this as a gift and say, I think I can trade out of this situation. And thank you, Eduardo and Zinski, for the super chats. I'm going to put you in the corner here and get to you guys in a second. Anybody else super chats, I'm going to put you in line here to get your questions answered. So I appreciate you. You could look at it like a gift and say, hey, I'm going to be able to now sell him higher than I could have had this news not broke. I'm running the risk of that there was an overreaction. Maybe Zeke bounces back. But let me ask you a question. Based on Christian McCaffrey and how that went, based on Henry and how that went, based on Cook and how that's going, based on all these other players that get banged up, there's a lot of concern. There's some legitimate reason to be worried. Let me ask you a question. Does it feel like Elliott's going to escape this? If you honestly ask yourself that. Does it feel like a guy that was trending in the direction of maybe being sat out? Maybe the news was false. Maybe the news was true, based on some truth, but stretched and manipulated and maybe bounced around a little bit. But is the likelihood of a guy with that kind of news, with the mileage that he has, with the dropping off in talent we can see, when he's on the field. And if you're watching football, you know Zeke doesn't quite look the same. Okay? And he did in the beginning of the year. But now, lately, not this week, but the previous week, he had 2 TDs. But he had 14 carries, I believe, or somewhere around 12 or 14 carries. The volume hasn't been there. He doesn't look the same. He's been falling into the end zone, which has been good and deceptive and very rewarding and helpful. But it was time to trade him 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think you were given little opportunity to trade Zeke when the news broke a couple days ago saying that the Cowboys might shut him down. This is a gift. The news wire is a gift. The news is telling you, I'm going to give you a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to give you a little bit of wiggle room to get rid of Zeke. Okay? And if you don't take advantage of it, the odds are more likely you'll regret not taking advantage of it than regret trading Zeke Elliott. Why do I say that? Again, the guy looks to be falling off. My eyeballs aren't lying. And I don't think at his age, with his volume of work, this late in the season, struggling with an injury that he couldn't possibly be over yet. He's struggling with the knee injury. This is the guy that's going to then go upward. His volume and production are going to increase. I don't think so. I don't think so. This feels a lot like the Christian McCaffrey situation. You either take care of this now and get a player or players you like in crafty fashion better, or you'll probably, not for sure, just like there's no certainty that McCaffrey was going to get hurt again, but it was very likely. And I said that. You're going to likely, not for sure, but likely be left holding the bag, and you're going to say, I could have taken this and turned it into, what if I just traded it for Tyreek Hill? I was greedy, and I wanted Tyreek Hill and Cordero Patterson. He wouldn't give me both, so I said I'm keeping McCaffrey. Think about that. You could have at least had one player like Hill. You would have been thrilled. Okay? Don't be left holding Zeke Elliott when there's an opportunity to sell him high. And if I'm wrong, you know what I'm about to say. If I'm wrong about Elliott, I'm still not wrong. Because what you're going to be able to get now with this gift that Elliott practiced, he's going to be fine, is going to give you back a player if you shop properly. Give you back a player that, in your opinion, is worth the risk. Whether it was a Gibson or still can be a Gibson. Whether it's a Jamar Chase. I would take Jamar Chase straight up over Zeke Elliott. If you can keep Pollard, try. But I would take Jamar Chase straight up over Zeke Elliott in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. So to answer this question here, it's tough because Swift is also hurt. Do I like Swift and Mike Williams or Zeke and Pittman? Give me Swift and Mike Williams. But it's not easy, and I don't say it with a whole bunch of confidence because you have 2 injured running backs in this equation, and no one knows truly what's going on with either of them. Thank you for the super chat, good man. Appreciate you. Russell and DK don't like each other, says Overcome. This tends to feel like the case right now. Is Mixon a sell high? Playoff schedule is rough. Everyone is a sell high if the price is right. This is where we got back to the Christian McCaffrey thing. How many times were people in here that are not here now? We don't see them anywhere. Where's that guy, Nick or whoever? Christian McCaffrey was a sell high. Was he also a hold? I mean, if you weren't getting good trade value, you were wanting to hold out and try and get that, play hardball. Anybody can be sold high. I would sell Cooper Kupp high. Does that make me crazy? No. What would make me crazy is if I said I will not sell Cooper Kupp high no matter what the offer is, as if I wouldn't be logical with my own team and take a player and turn that player into 2 players where one or both of them could potentially be as good as Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp I draft over the players I would get for Cooper Kupp in a trade. But would I sell Cooper Kupp if the right deal came along before week 13, before week 12, before we knew Cordell Patterson was for sure back? Would I have taken a Patterson and another player? Absolutely. And now look where you'd be with that. So do I trade Mixon? I trade him high. If I don't trade him ultra high, I don't trade him. He looks good. He looks fantastic. Running backs are dropping like flies. This guy's in line to be like running back 5 right now. Like, what other running backs can you really get if you're needing to make a trade? If you sell high, you better sell ultra high on Mixon. You better be getting like a Tyreek Hill and something. You better be getting a Jamar Chase and a running back you love that is super undervalued to where you're gonna feel great. Even if Mixon continues, this is the same thought process. If you're making a trade, Robert or Champs or Tanner or Gary or Overcome or Matt or Kyle, any of you here in the chat, if you're making a trade, Chris, Gary, I want you to say to yourself, if this trade, either way this trade works out for the other owner, I still love it. If I'm trading away Mixon and Mixon does continue to tear it up, will I still love the trade? If you can't say yes to that, then you aren't making the right trade. That's why I say that I'm going to, even when I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong about, Christian McCaffrey and he was going to do well all year, the trades I told you all to make were still balling, still fire. So I wouldn't have been wrong. So you need to make those trades. It sounds crazy. I know you're thinking, what's he saying? But if you can't say I'm right on both sides, whether the player I'm trading away balls out or not, then you didn't win the trade. So only sell high. 12-team league, 6-6. My team barely scored 67. Cam, Chase, JJ, Najee, Zeke. You had a lot of low scores for this week. Hunt, Kittle, have Tyreek and Kyler coming back, so you're fine. Do I start Gronk over Kittle? No. With Debo out, Kittle is going to be even more leaned upon, I think. Unless Kittle suffers injury or there's news about him, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'm not saying I don't try and play both. You might even need to play both in your flex, whatever. But I feel like I'd play Kittle. I don't think I'd hesitate on that. Gronk is always a baller, but he's always an injury risk as well. He's always an injury risk. He could go down during a game. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. What kind of trade would you offer for Pollard? I don't know if you mean for Pollard or to trade Pollard away, but I mean a solid high, super high end wide receiver 3, maybe low end wide receiver 2. I don't think you're making running back trades for Pollard. It's just too hard. There's so many running backs down and out. But again, MC Fire, we don't know what's going on with Pollard. I love Pollard. I want Pollard. I'm trading for Pollard if I don't own him already in every single league I have. Pollard is a must grab. But I think the odds are Pollard is going to be solid no matter what. I don't think Zeke has it anymore. And that's hard to say because he was a favorite of the show and to all of us. And we did really well. He's been a top 5 to 8 running back up until the point where I've been saying sell. I've been saying sell Zeke Elliott for a couple weeks now. This is not just this week. So I'm reactive. If you want an analyst that's going to tell you who to draft and then just back the predictions I made in the preseason, then I'm the wrong guy. You don't want to watch my show. I'm not that kind of show. I don't know why anybody would want to watch an analyst that literally doesn't change their mind. I get people that come in here and say, hey, Smitty, you didn't really love Mixon or Swift during the preseason. What's up? And I'm like, what do you mean what's up? Things change, bro. Is it the same weather outside every day? Is the NFL not a revolving 100 different moving parts at every turn type of environment? Do you really think because I said I don't like this guy right here at this draft value that I'm going to stand by that when I see the player's situation improving or looking like fire? Mixon he was doing little with a lot and the volume was there. Now he looks fantastic. He's gotten in a groove. I don't know if he was banged up earlier. He looks great. And I adjust and adapt. If you want me to stand on how I felt about Mixon 8 weeks ago and I'm supposed to just I'm doing a bad job because I'm adapting and adjusting. I'm not the show for you. That's not how I roll. I go with how the players' values are shaping out. I'm a buy low, sell high person. You'll hear me tell you not to draft a player and then come in and swoop them up. I love Jonathan Taylor as a top 5 to 6 guy. I have videos where I say, don't be scared of drafting JT as the 5th or 6th overall running back drafted. Then there was a point where Carson Wentz went down, and I adjusted and said, you know what? If someone takes JT too high, scoop him up in weeks 3, 4, 5, 6. Would have probably been too late in 6. I can't predict everything exact. But in week 3, 4, you could have scooped up JT as he struggled in weeks 1, 2, 3, started to kind of come around in week 4. Week 5 on, he's going to be more and more untouchable as the season progressed. But if you think I'm not going to tell you that there's opportunity to not draft a player, then draft a player, it's crazy. Smitty Hendy has a quad injury. He does. We'll see how he's doing. Pollard, you can't trade for Pollard higher than a high end flex or a high end wide receiver 3 or a very low wide receiver 2 because he doesn't have anything guaranteed to his name, bro. But there's a lot of opportunity awaiting Pollard. Do you lose -2 points on interceptions on 2-point conversions? I don't think so. It depends on your league, Zinski, but you shouldn't. I'm not saying that that's how every league should be. Every league's going to have their own scoring, but I believe that's just I don't think you get an INT in most formats. Does anybody know that in their own league? I don't think you do. Panic on Aaron Jones. Outlook on Miles Sanders. Panic on Aaron Jones. Yes, a little bit. Do I like buying him extremely low? I do as well. And players can live in both categories. That's the nature of fantasy football. And so I would say that it depends on if you can buy Aaron Jones as a low running back 2, then I'm kind of on board. If you're buying him as a running back 1, you're not shopping properly. Aaron Jones could be a lesser producing player go forward than A.J. Dillon, even if Aaron Jones gets right. And right now he's not right. It's a little unfair to judge him. A.J. Dillon looked like fire, but he's an injury risk. I would probably say it's a risky proposition to go buying a player with such questionable future, questionable health, questionable situation. We don't really know what we're dealing with. I would say it just truly depends. Miles Sanders, I like a little bit. I think he's got some upside, but he's also got a lot of risk. I would call him a high-end flex or running back, a low-end running back 2, mostly flex. I don't know that I could even call Miles Sanders any sort of like high-end anything. His stat line in week number 12 was 9 carries for 64 yards, and he had 1 reception for 0 yards. The week prior, 94 yards on 16 carries. It's very one-dimensional volume for him. He's either going to do a little bit in the receiving game or he'll do a little bit in the rushing game. He's never really truly getting both. He's not getting the touchdowns. Jalen Hurts vultures a lot of the touchdowns. So my outlook probably will never exceed high-end running back 2. It will at most be low-end running back 2 in a climate where running backs are dropping like flies. Could Miles Sanders live in a world where he's a low-end running back 2? Yeah, I suppose with the running back climate, sure. But I'm not feeling great about Aaron Jones or Miles Sanders right now. But I would buy. Let me put it this way: if I own Aaron Jones, panic time. If I don't own Aaron Jones, I poke around and scoop him up. If I've got A.J. Dillon, I go to that Aaron Jones owner and go, hey, I would like to handcuff the backup to my starter, A.J. Dillon. How about you trade me the backup, Aaron Jones? Let me handcuff him to A.J. Dillon, and I'll give you a little something in exchange. That's what I would do. Try and lamb him.
Get lammed.
I mean, do what you can. Do what you can. Try and lam them. Try and pull a deal. Try and do a...
Go ahead.
Getting land.
For those that don't know, that's the Bruce's mother, legend on the show, Miss Robeson. We appreciate your dedication to the channel. That's a legend right there. Get McKissick. I sent that to my brother. You guys will see that on my Instagram stories. I yelled at him because him and I are fighting for... I've got such a good team, but I'm getting scored on like mad. My record's bad. My points are good. My team's phenomenal. And we're fighting for the 6th spot right now in this like family friend buddy league. And so I sent him a message. I got it put on my Instagram stories where I say, you're going to get McKissick. McKissick did McKissick him, but then he got lammed in the game. Hopefully he's okay. He looked okay when they carted him off the field, but he scored enough that I got the W. Joey says I missed his super chat. Joey, hold on. Good buddy. I'm still trying to get to them all. If you guys have one, let me know. Barlow, Jacob, MC Fire, I think I got yours. Joey, I got yours right here. Shake and Bake. Zinski, I got yours. Eduardo, Miles Sanders, thank you for yours. Okay, Shake and Bake says trade deadline tomorrow, 7-5. QB Herbert, JT, Gibson, Javonte Hunt, Ramondre Stevenson, CD, Keenan Allen, Smith Sanders, any moves. Okay, so Herbie, JT, Gibson, Javonte Hunt, Ramondre, solid running back. CD, Keenan Allen. I like it. I try and get Jamar Chase if I'm you, buddy boy. I do my best to get Jamar Chase. I do my best buy low impression in your league and try and find myself an opportunity to get that man onto this roster. Let me see what we can cook up. Let me move these super chats to the corner here. I'm going to get through those in a second. Anybody has any more super chats, drop them and I'll put them on screen and get to you in 1 second. I'm going to say I like Herbie. I love Gibson right now at the value. You know, JT's fire. Javonte's on his way up. Hunt's going to come in right at the nick of time, but you could trade him potentially. So would I keep CD? Would I try and trade like a boy? I bet you could trade a Devontae Smith and Hunt for like a Jamar Chase right now. People are down on Jamar Chase. Go try it, shake and bake. Go after Jamar. Would I trade Keenan Allen for him? I would do that too, but I would try and get that deal worked in another way first. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. Help the channel grow. I appreciate you guys, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you when you guys drop these super chats and help the channel. It really, really, really does help us grow. And let me just drop this in here and click on that, save, boom. Okay, sorry, doing some housekeeping here. DK was wide open most of the time. Gonzalez, it is tough watching DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson right now. Mostly tough watching Russell Wilson. I don't really know what to make of this man right now. I feel like just DK's values, he feels wasted right now. He just feels wasted. And I don't know how I feel about him moving forward, to be completely honest with you. Would I buy him low? I certainly would, but I don't know what low is right now. And what would you guys, where do you rank DK? If you had to rank him, like give me a ranking wide receiver wise, like wide receiver 6, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 10. Drop a DK ranking right now. I'm very curious to know where you guys rank DK. Trade Mattison and Cook for Najee in a heartbeat. I think I would, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen with the situation, bro. I would take Najee Harris in a heartbeat. I think you're kind of safe getting Mattison, and if you own Cook and Mattison, you probably will be okay, and it's a good spot to be in, because Madison's so fire when he gets in there. But I'm taking Najee, bro. I'm taking Najee. I like it. People are freaking out on Najee. He's a great buy low right now. DK wide receiver 3 says Tanner. Overcome says wide receiver 15. Zepeda says 31. What's up, Hall of J Game? What's up, Kevin? Around the 10th, Kevin says wide receiver 9 says Big Dog. Smitty, instead of getting lammed, I got playoff Lenny benching him and starting Swift. You didn't know, bro. Everyone and their mother would have started Swift over playoff Lenny. You can't kick yourself for that, bro. That is not a mistake at the time. Playoff Lenny or Mitchell, like even that one, I started Mitchell over playoff Lenny, bro, in a league. And when playoff Lenny dropped 4 scores, I was pretty upset at myself. 5? I was pretty upset at myself. But Mitchell balled out. Mitchell was great. You couldn't have seen that differential coming, bro. You couldn't. Don't be so hard on yourself. I have Zeke and Aaron Jones. Do I spell JT for more pieces? Do I sell JT? Do I spell JT? Give him a spell. Put him on the bench. Give him a rest. Do you sell JT for more pieces? I'd try and trade Aaron Jones and Zeke first, but yeah, if the offer is amazing, like if you're getting a core Darrell and Hill, I mean, you almost got to make a move if you don't think you can make it or go the distance. But Zeke is expected to play week 13 now. He's probably going to be in the lineup Thursday. And Aaron Jones probably will be too. So it's not like you're telling me 2 players that are out. Zinski, you've got it better than some right now because you've got 2 guys in Zeke and Aaron Jones that are likely going to play. So I don't know if I'd sell the farm. I would look to buy. Try and trade Zeke for Chase. Try and solve your problems, Zinski, buying a buy low guy, getting rid of Zeke. Get rid of Zeke. I'd rather have Aaron Jones over Zeke. I think Aaron Jones could bounce back. He's a pretty decent buy low. As the week goes on, you might hear me talk more and more about buying Aaron Jones low. I freak out if I own him, but I like going and buying him because owners are freaked out if they owned him. His price will be low to go get. But I'm more into owning Aaron Jones than I am Zeke. Trade Zeke for Jamar. Jamar owners are freaking out. It's a win-win, bro. It's a win-win. What kind of trade would you offer for Pollard? Okay, I got that one. Jacob, I appreciate you, good buddy. Just sold James Conner for Jacoby Myers, a 2022 third and a 2022 second, 1 QB league. How did you do? I'll be honest, Jacob. Jacoby isn't impressive. I'm not too big on second and third round picks, to be honest, and I don't mind them, of course, but I think James Conner could help you win your league this year. Maybe he doesn't have a ton of good dynasty value, so if you aren't in the mix to win, I assume you're trying to just build, then I'm okay with this. I don't love it. It's not like something where I'm ringing the bell over here and waking up Miss Smitty, which I may do sometime soon. If a trade is that good, I would risk it and wake the whole house up ringing the bell in the corner. But this ain't a bell ring, bro. But I think Connor can help someone win. I would have done this trade if I was in the mix to win it all. I would have taken Connor for that. Connor can help big. I like Connor. Start Dylan or Aaron Jones. Right now it's Dylan until further notice. So Chad is Mixon and Deontay for Chubb and Chase. Wow. Mixon and Deontay. Give me Chubb and Chase. Give me Nick Chubb and Jamar Chase. Don't use 1 week for Nick Chubb to value him. And don't discredit Jamar Chase. I would rather have Chubb and Chase. And it's not that you would be wrong to like either side, but I firmly believe Chase is going to have a top 4 to 7 wide receiver finish. And Chubb is as good as Mixon. I like Mixon a lot. I'd probably draft Mixon ahead of Chubb right now, but they're very, very close. Peach says they'll have CMC top 10 next year like clowns. Look, what's funny is when we talked about this and that one guy came in here, and there's more than one guy that came in here, and they're like, Christian McCaffrey, number 2 or 3, how can you not have him on your dynasty rankings? What did I say? If McCaffrey does not finish the year on a tear, he's not going to be on my top 10. He's not going to be in my top 10. And I put an asterisk next to McCaffrey and spoke about it like that because it was not, I think it would be reckless to rank McCaffrey high on 2022 rankings without beating the hell out of the topic of he would have to stay healthy. He would have to stay healthy. He would have to stay healthy. Rock out. I was forced to hold CMC. Couldn't get a good deal, but is Scott and Gage worth a pickup? Boston Scott is okay. I wouldn't be excited about playing him at all. Gage is an okay wide receiver 3, 4, 5. Like if you're in a bind, you have injuries, bye weeks, whatever. Gage is okay. Hilliard would be better. Van Jefferson would be better. Of course, Odell would be better. Kendrick Bourne would be better. And there are a few wide receivers I can, try and come up with rock out that could be better. Next super chat from John. Johnny boy. I appreciate you, Johnny boy. Zinski, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Good man. Don Draper, stopping and baked in, boys. I got yours right here. John says, grade the trade, 12-team PPR. I trade Amari Cooper, Javonte Pitts, Miles Sanders for CD and Kelsey. Give me CD and Kelsey, bro. Give me CD and Kelsey. Look, Amari Cooper, you don't know what you're getting. Javonte, I love, but we still don't have confirmation he's the man yet, but we love him. He's doing amazing things. But guess what? I still like CD Lamb more than I like Javonte right now, moving forward. And Kelsey's worth everything else that you're talking about. I would take the Kelsey side and I would run. Baked in, boys. And there's 206 of you in here. Please punch the thumbs up on your way in the door. Whole Steelers team. Panic chamber. I would say, yeah, but I'm not worried so much about Najee. He's a rookie. He's going to have a little lull. I hope it's only this one game, maybe one more. Don't panic to the ends of the earth if he doesn't have another amazing game. Rookies can definitely have dips at the running back position because they're used to college seasons, and when they get into double-digit weeks, they start to get a little tired. The great ones can stay healthy and push through it and break down the rookie wall, and then it's upward again. It's like this. It's like the graph that I showed you over here. This happens with rookie wide receivers. It happens with running backs. They start out like this, and then when they're rookies and they hit about week 11, week 12, they can kind of have this lull. And then it shoots back up. The great ones shoot back up. It's called the rookie wall. It's a wall right here. It's called the rookie wall for a reason. And if they can push through and not get hurt, they break down the rookie wall and bust loose. Have faith in your boy, Najee Harris. He'll be fine. 0.5 PPR Schultz or Komet rest of season. Give me Schultz. It's not even close, bro. It's not even close for me. Zinski with another super chat. Thank you, good buddy. Would you trade Zeke for Javonte and Deontay Johnson in a heartbeat, bro? Where's my button?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Gotta be kidding me. I love Zinski. You pull this off, I might ring the bell, bro. I might ring the bell. That would be a phenomenal move. Trading Zeke Elliott for Javonte and Deontay. That'd be phenomenal. That's how babies are made, bro. That's insane. Rock out. I'm 7-5. QB Allen, running back Mattison, Javonte, Hubbard, Breda, Wilson Jr., Swift. Hunt or Hurt? It says Hunt, I think. Michael Carter, IR. CMC out. Jefferson, Deontay, AB, Judy, Bateman, Kirk, Schultz. What do I do to stay alive? Man. So you got Allen, you got Mattison. Mattison and Javonte are really, decent right now. Hubbard's going to step up for you. Swift is hurt. Swift hurt. Okay. Swift hurt. I thought you were saying Hunt or Hurts, but you're just saying Swift is hurt. You got a good team, bro. You got a good team. I wouldn't be opposed to trading like Deontay and maybe a Hubbard, because now he's a starter. Before, when you were trading for Hubbard, no one was going to give you anything because he wasn't guaranteed anything. The rug was going to be pulled out from him. But now he's a starting running back. So you could probably trade Deontay and Chuba Hubbard for one player, like a Jamar Chase. That's probably the direction I would go rock out. I think Jamar Chase is the best player to go get right now, by far, by a country mile. There is no player with the impact ability he has at the cost of entry, which is like half of what he's probably worth, I go get him, and I get him right now. DK until further notice. Do you bench him? Troy, I don't know that I could find 3 guys on my bench at the wide receiver, 2 wide receivers and flex position, or if you roll with 3 wide receivers. I don't think I'm finding a flex play better than DK on a lot of my teams. So I'm going to say no, but maybe your team's built differently. Maybe you're playing in a 3.5 man league with grandma and you've got, amazing fire on your bench, bro. But DK's definitely flex worthy still. About to send Mixon and Devontae for Hollywood and Jonathan Taylor. Mixon and Devontae for, I would take Jonathan Taylor and Hollywood, which is crazy, at first when you say it, but, Mixon's good, Devontae's good, but Hollywood Brown's good too. And I think the gap between Hollywood and Devontae is big, but I think the gap between Jonathan Taylor and other running backs, no matter who they are, is bigger. And so I'm going to go ahead and say, give me JT, but, that's quite a bit. If you don't get Chase right now, you'll regret it. That's exactly what I'm saying, Robert. Now's the time. Now's the time. Mojo says Andrews Cup for Dalvin Mattison Fant. Andrews and Cup for, I would take Andrews and Cup for Dalvin Mattison and Fant. Absolutely. I would do that right now. Andrews and Cup is a lot. That's a good return. Ayuk or DK. I'm still taking DK right now. With Debo out, Ayuk could be really good for a couple weeks, but overall, I'm still liking DK more. But I could change on that. I could change on it. I'm not like 100% on that. That's just my leaning. I'd only have Mitchell and Javonte left rostered. I think you're answering someone else's question, or you're having a conversation there. Rock out. Appreciate you. Debo rest up, says Avi. And on that note, I'm going to call it at an hour tonight. Thank you for watching. Guys, as always, please get on over to sleeperu.com. Let me show you right here. Get on over to...
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions? Get on over to sleeperu.com.
So get on over to sleeperu.com. If you get a lifetime membership at sleeperu.com, I will give you not only free text advice for the remainder of 2021, but I'll give you text advice, on-demand one-on-one text advice for the remainder of 2022, and a 2022 draft call where I give you an hour of my time on the phone and you and I tear up your 2022 draft together. So go to sleeperu.com and get any one of the lifetime memberships, and let's roll for 2021. That's a limited time offer. I might still offer that in December, but only for the top level lifetime membership. Right now I'm offering that for any lifetime membership on sleeperu.com. And get your text advice at heysmitty.com so that you and I can text one-on-one.
Want on-demand text advice from Smitty? Go to heysmitty.com. Take a lap.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. And as always, I will respond to every single question you throw at me in the comments of this exact video for the next 12 to 24 hours. So I dare you. I dare every single one of you, all 204 of you, to ask me a question in my comments of this video once the video ends. Not in the live stream, in the video, in the comments that start out at 0. I dare every one of you, all 204 of you, to first hit that thumbs up, but then ask me a question. Let's see if I can answer 204 questions in the next 12 to 24 hours. Try me. Appreciate all of you. Now get out of here, you filthy animals.